You know, when I started this channel and I first began talking about the policies that are to be implemented in order for us to fight climate change, I said that they feel very communistic to me. And a lot of people laughed and said that, oh, you're seeing communists everywhere. But here we have experts, a member from the academia, intelligent people that are suggesting just that, rationing. Under the glorious socialist Romania, we had rationing. And in Poland as well, they had rationing. Many places under the Iron Curtain had rationing. So, by this logic, communism, especially under the USSR, was one of the most positive forces for the environment. The way it worked is that once you got your wage, you also had your ration card. And your ration card said how much meat you're allowed to buy, how much things you're allowed to consume. And if you managed to purchase like the kilogram of meat that you were allowed for that month, even if you had more money, you wouldn't be able to purchase more. And this is literally what these experts are saying. They are suggesting something which is already being implemented. Like, we're past the conversation stage, we're at the implementation stage, where they're saying that through the modernization of rationing with carbon cards, bank cards to keep track of your carbon allowance rather than ration cards. The researchers recommended that people should not be allowed to trade or sell their carbon allowance, saying that it is feasible that allowance-based schemes could exist with non-tradable allowances. So in other words, once we're going to have the benefit of the cashless society, which is something that they suggested when the pandemic began, if you guys remember, like all of a sudden journalists were talking about cashless societies and everyone like, dude, this is apparently a virus, came from China, killing people. Like, what does it have to do with cashless societies? But if you look at the legislation, it's already being implemented, and the idea is that you're going to have like your digital dollar, your digital pound, your digital euro, and you cannot actually take the money away. Like, it's not going to be physical cash. You're just going to use your little QR code, and you're going to make purchases with it. And it's going to have like a fixed number of carbon that apparently you can't even trade to other people. So this is the glorious future that the experts have foreseen. Now, what's interesting is that they're talking about how in World War II, in Britain, people were fine with rationing. In fact, people demanded rationing when there was a shortage of things. And in order to get that, we need shortages. So they're talking about how the government should start fucking with the oil industry. They should start fucking with the logistics, with things that bring product into the country so that there is a shortage, an artificially created shortage, so that people would welcome rationing. This is what the experts are saying. Now, what's interesting is if you're a right-winger and you say, fuck the experts, oh my god, you're against the academia, you're an anti-intellectual. Meanwhile, you have the experts that are literally trying to fuck up your life. Like, they work tirelessly in order to figure out how to make your life worse. And they also cut you off from the conversation. Like, these discussions are not done with the public. These discussions are not done involving you. Like, you are being told, from now on, you're going to have to ration. You're going to have shortages, and people will demand that rationing happens, which, to be honest, is probably normal. I mean, it is expected that if there's not enough stuff going around, like it happened in Germany when there was a shortage of oil, yeah, like people demanded that the supermarkets do not allow someone to walk away with 40 bottles. However, what they are also saying is that these shortages should be done artificially, right? Like regulate the farmers, regulate everything so that there is less stuff. And when there is less stuff, then people are going to demand that you have these levels of rationing. And take into account, like I see a lot of people that are a little bit confused about the central bank digital currency. And they will say, well, we will never use it, or the people will protest against the government. And I'm saying, like, all right, but imagine this. You already have, like, the ESG scheme, and this is just a scenario. I'm not sure if this is going to happen, but, like, I'm just, like, thinking if I wanted to implement the cashless society, how would I do it? Like, you already have the ESG investment. And most companies that are benefiting from ESG investment are not profitable. So the reason they're still in business is because the money from the investors keep flowing in, right? Like they're almost about to bankrupt and there's more cash flowing in and more cash flowing in. Pretty much like Twitter, right? Twitter used to lose $4 million per day. So the investors just kept pumping money into it. Now imagine that the investors, which aren't that many in number, would just say, okay, well, we're not paying anymore. We want you to give us the money back, right? Pay back the loans. And in this situation, you end up with a financial crisis, a major economic collapse. And all of a sudden, you'll notice that the prices explode. You want to buy your bottle of milk, $1,000. You want to buy your loaf of bread, $2,000. People will be desperate. And then you have the government coming in and saying, oh, well, there's a new system now. It's called the central bank digital currency. And your bottle of milk is going to cost $2 digital. You may get universal basic income. A lot of people are going to look at the government as the savior. It's not someone that's oppressing them, it's someone that saves them. Of course, the added detriment is that the government can control how long you have those funds, so it can prevent people or certain people from getting rich. For example, if you're on welfare, they can say, well, if you don't use these funds in 1 month, they disappear. They can control everything you do, because like if you have the digital currency, it's all electronic. Whatever you pay, whatever you get something, it's being controlled. You can even have like digital currency that you cannot use for electronics. So if you're a bad person, right, you want to protest, all of a sudden you're not allowed to buy plane tickets, you're not allowed to buy train tickets. Why am I basing this on? It's the Chinese system. This is what they're doing in China with the digital yuan. And as you can see, the media isn't even talking about it. They're not even complaining. I mean, it's one of the most digital authoritarian shit that I have ever seen in my life. But you don't even get to hear that much about it here in the West. And of course, there's other, conveniences that will get a lot of people to like it. Like, for example, your taxes can be deducted automatically. If you are speeding and the camera manages to see that you have been speeding, immediately the fine gets subtracted from your bank account. So there are certain benefits that are going to get people to like and prefer this system, but it can also be attached with carbon credits. It can also be attached with rationing. And again, like shortages are going to be everywhere. I mean, we've seen this under the Soviet Union. It happens almost under any authoritarian system that's centralized. It's about control. It's about making sure that the people don't rise up. It's about making sure that the rich stay richer. But it is what it is. And again, like what I'm saying is already been discussed. Like if you are following the news, you'll notice that the European Union is on board with this. The United States is on board with this. The UK is on board with this. Like they already had the conversations. Now they're at the implementation phase. And the only thing that I'm expecting is to see the financial crash, and then the government comes up and says, all right, well, here's the solution. You go onto these central bank digital currency and everything will be fine. So yeah, this is what I've been saying on the channel for a long time, that it's pretty similar to rationing. Apparently it is. And furthermore, hopefully that what I said in this video doesn't come to pass, but I'm not very optimistic about it. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.